I'm not going to ask you your political opinion. I don't care who you voted for. But being the election just took place, do you think Judaism endorses or leans towards a specific party or political theory? I mean, would you say it's more conservative? No, it's more liberal, progressive, democratic, or is it just politically neutral?
I would say that you can't pigeonhole the religion into any of these. There's things that you might see more liberal, others more conservative. Obviously, from a communal standpoint, identifying Judaism with any political party would be disastrous because we need to be an open tent, and no one
Totally,
should feel
totally.
bad for who they're voting for, with limited exceptions if you're dealing with a real crazy situation, but not what we've seen. It is true that in certain areas, I think you can make the case very strongly that certain positions of political parties are at odds with traditional Judaism, be it on the right. The extreme pro-life position is definitely in opposition to traditional Jewish law about when abortion will be permitted. And on the left, aspects of gender theory would not be in line with traditional Jewish law. But other than that, I think it's a we have a very wide range of opinions that are included within traditional Judaism. And even if you want to argue that certain positions are at odds, our voting, brings into account all sorts of considerations, not one or the other, and neither of the parties can be said to be in opposition to traditional Judaism. We're given a choice here. There's people of goodwill on each side. Can express their opinion. And we have had that. Although it's true today, I think most in the traditional community supported Trump. There were certainly fine people and eloquent spokesmen who supported the other side. And that's how it should be.
I've got a lot of pushback. I used to talk to my mother-in-law, blessed memory, about this because, we're a very religiously Zionist community, organization. I drank the Kool-Aid. I gave it over to my kids. How do you factor in as an American Jew how much from, I guess, from a traditional Jewish standpoint, we should be factoring in Israel? Like, if you're convinced a certain candidate, and I'm going to leave names out here, is so much better for Israel, but let's say to make, to isolate the variable here, but is maybe not as good for the country or other, like, how do you navigate that? How do you negotiate that as Israel's at war now, and it could make a big difference who the president is vis-a-vis the kind of backing Israel will give or not give. How much will Israel be pushed by the United States to, pull out of Gaza, cease fire, or do whatever you need to do. We're right behind you. These are real issues. Does that trump the whole everything else that is important in our, society here in America?
Okay, first let me say that in the last election, a lot of people who supported Harris argued that she'd be just as strong for Israel as Trump. For some, I don't think there's any rule on this. So for some people, Israel, they might have children there, they might feel very strongly, they think it could be an existential issue right now. So that's going to be the most important. But I certainly think it's acceptable that whereas Israel needs to be an important factor, I think it doesn't have to be the be all and end all. At the end of the day, Israel is going to survive and has survived. And there's other issues that are important also. I mean, if the candidate who's going to be pro-Israel, but in other areas he's completely reactionary, and I mean, you can have a pro-Israel president who's also anti-Semitic. You can have someone who believes in every other area against your values. So you've had situations like that, perhaps among European countries, and so my own personal opinion is it has to be important to Israel, but it's not the only issue. We live in America. There's all sorts of other issues as well.
I was telling people, Israel needs to be, and it shouldn't be the only thing, like what you were just saying, but it really needs to be up there. Like whoever you're voting for, you need to feel as a Jew that you're voting for someone that's really going to have Israel's back. Does that mean, everything else has to be lined up? Like I don't know, and I would never, like given, what you just said before, I very much agree with that. I will lose my constituency. I don't know if you know, 2016, I was asked to give the benediction at the Republican National Convention. It was a big honor, and I spoke with people, and they're like, just check it out with a couple of MGE participants first. Rabbi, if you spoke at the Republican National, I said, by the way, I'm not speaking for Trump. I'm speaking for the Republican and I'm giving them a bracha. If the Democrats asked me, I'd probably do it there too. Rabbi, I would lose all respect for you and I would never step foot in MGE again.
I
And by
think
the
that
way,
was because I think that was because who the nominee was. If it was a different
yeah,
nominee, maybe
yeah,
others. But I agree. Look, I personally think Israel has to be a very important issue. In fact, I haven't seen anyone who's supporting Harris or the Democratic Party say otherwise. That they also think Israel is an important issue. But
right.
so I think Jews on both sides of this issue believe Israel is important. They have different approaches, maybe, on how best to support Israel.
And
That's all I would say.
you're not just saying that to be diplomatic. You really believe. I mean, I know that there are very strong candidates, or politicians within the Democratic Party, but are you not concerned? I'm sorry to push back on this a little more. Are you not concerned with the direction the Democratic Party has gone in? It would be very unhealthy for Israel, by the way, for Israel to be a partisan issue and only have the Republicans supporting them. And that's why AIPAC tries to really, you know, be neutral on that, and just support Israeli policies. But given the way the far left part of the Democratic Party has gone, and in my opinion, not been silenced by the more mainstream part of the Democratic Party, are you concerned that a continued support for Democratic candidates could be harmful for Israel?
Well, again, you don't know what's going to be now with the loss. So the whole party is going to have to perhaps undergo a transformation, but it's a very big concern. My only point was that the people who have supported people on the left, or the liberal side, I should say, the Democratic Party, either in Congress or for president, have claimed to be their pro-Israel bona fides are not put to the test by this, and that the members that they're supporting stand against the anti-Israel, and it's precisely a mistake to see the entire party is moving in that direction. We'll see. There's no question that the left,
Do you
the
believe that?
anti-Israel left, has become more important. But I know good Jews, charitable Jews, Orthodox and non-Orthodox, involved in federation, committed to Israel, and they are strong. They were strong backers of Harris, and they would be insulted if you questioned their loyalty to
Mhm, mhm.
either to America or their support for Israel.
No, I
Um,
don't. I'm not questioning their loyalty or support of Israel. I'm questioning their power to silence the increasingly vocal voices within the far left.
okay, again, we will see. We don't know. The squad is small. It's the voices are growing. If the young people demonstrating on campus are going to be the future of the Democratic Party. And there's no question that today's Democratic Party is not the Democratic Party of our parents and grandparents. But like I said, it remains to be seen. And there certainly is a place. There's an organization, Democratic Majority for Israel. The Democratic Party still has many supporters of Israel. Granted, you might not see them as supportive as Trump and the Republicans, and they are more nuanced in their support. Absolutely. But it's too soon to see the Democratic Party as, for example, like the old Labour Party in England. And by the way, take a look at the Labour Party in England, which is strongly anti-Israel. There seems to have been a change in that to a certain
Yeah,
extent.
yeah, yeah.
Look, we have a two-party system, and as you say, it would be a mistake for us to give up on one of the big parties.
No, we can't afford that. It just may, the question is it inevitable? And how long do you I have
Nothing's
it.
inevitable. Nothing's inevitable. If you're governor in New York and your mayor in New York are all members of the Democratic Party and they're very supportive of Israel. So that's a
Right.
battle that the Democratic Party, unfortunately, the Democratic Party does not have the same sort of support for Israel as Republicans. And if you would have said 30 years ago that you've had members of Congress in either party who did not believe in the existence of the state of Israel, never mind strong support, you would not believe it. You would say that's impossible. But yet
Mhm.
now we have such a situation, and it's unfortunate. And hopefully we'll be able to keep it to a small group and maybe vote them out. A few of them, a couple of them,
Amen.
including one Bowman, not far from where you are now. He was voted out, I think,
Yes.
primarily because of his terrible anti-Israel
Yeah.
statements.
Yeah. Yeah. No, amen. Thank you.
Hey, please like and subscribe so we can get these really important videos out to a larger audience. Thank you.